everyone. Thanks for tuning into this month's edition of What's Up, Doc. Today, Dr. Sweeney and I are going to discuss the use of the vending machines in school, sitting in the hallway before the morning bell rings, and bullying. So, recently the school got some brand new vending machines, some new snacks, new drinks, and you can also use your credit and debit card on it, which is awesome because I never have cash on me.
Nor do I.
Yeah. But there's some confusion on whether or not they're on during school hours. And for example, I went during my lunch, but I went to the ones in the hallway, and the hall monitor told me that they were off. But now I guess they're on in the cafeteria. Could you elaborate more on that?
Sure. The ones in the hallway are on after school. The ones in the cafeteria are on during school hours. So for students who have a lunch period or who have senior study hall, then they have access to those. We were finding that students were telling teachers they were going to their locker or going to get a drink when the teacher assumed they meant the drinking fountain, but then they were coming back with Sun Chips and a drink from the vending machine. So it was becoming more and more of an issue. So in the past, when we had vending machines in the hallway, they were on a timer and they were off until the end of the school day, and we went back to that. But the ones in the cafeteria are open and available from 7:30 to after school.
Oh, awesome. Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So the next topic is a little controversial, which is why I'd like to discuss it with you in hopes to ease some of the tension that has been created between the students and administration. So some students have become passionate about not being able to sit in the hallway before first period. Signs were made, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there was also some sort of gathering in the hallway leading to the cafeteria. Could you maybe discuss and talk about why we're no longer able to sit in the hallways before the first period bell?
Well, it actually is nothing new. This has been an issue for a long, long time, probably as long as this building's been open. Because the trouble is, students are allowed to come into the building at 7 or 7:10, but there really isn't anywhere necessarily for them to sit down in the hallway area. They could go to the library, which opens at 7:20. They could go to the cafeteria, which is open at 7 o'clock. And we're actually working on having the large study halls upstairs open at 7 a.m. as well. So that way students who are coming in and need a place to sit and do homework will have a desk and a chair, and they don't have to sit on the wet or dirty floor. The bigger issue, though, for us is it poses both a safety concern and it creates kind of a hostile environment, because for a while we had large groups of students lining up in front of the lockers upstairs, sitting on either side of the hall with their legs extended, which meant that they were blocking access to all those lockers. Kids were feeling intimidated about going up to them and saying, oh, that's my locker and I need to be able to get to it. And also, there was only about 1.5 feet space down the middle of the hallway, and everybody had to walk down. I compared it to walking the gauntlet, if you will. And it's people's perception. If I walked by you, and as soon as I walked by, you started laughing and texting a friend, I might assume that you are laughing at me, when you might not have been. But that's my perception of what's going on. So we had asked groups of students to not sit in the hallway. Teachers have opened their classrooms before school upstairs, so if you're upstairs and a few have said, well, I don't want to walk all the way to the cafeteria, Mr. Fanuff, Mrs. Frank, some of the language teachers, lots of teachers are there before school starts, and it's a good place to sit and not in the hallway.
Yep, I totally understand. Okay. So all of those signs that were made, what one was your favorite? Did you have a favorite? Did you see any?
I did. Of course, I liked the ones that were supportive of the administration, but one said, I think I stand with Sweeney.
I saw that one.
Yeah, so kudos.
My favorite was don't doubt the doc.
Certainly we want students to understand that we're not making rules just for the sake of making rules. And I think going against a government has its time and place. Civil disobedience has a big part in our history. Sitting in our hallways, that's not really the cause to live and die by. So I'm hoping that students will just find a place that is appropriate between the many options we have, and we'll sit there.
Well, thank you so much for talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Lastly, I'd like to discuss bullying. In today's society, bullying has become a very big issue. However, it's to my understanding that we do have so many resources here at OHS, different people you can talk to, papers to fill out if you are being bullied yourself. But I feel like not even myself, I don't know much about that. So could you elaborate more on the stuff that we do have here
Sure, I'd be happy to. First and foremost, any adult here in the building would help you out, whether it's your teacher, your counselor, one of the secretaries. We have a school social worker, we have school psychologists, we have counseling interns. Mrs. Pora works with us 3 days a week. If you're having a problem, tell an adult. There are forms to complete. You don't necessarily have to complete the form. We would offer it to you to complete. You could type it out, you could give us a page of your journal, you could describe it to me and I could write it down, and then we conduct an investigation. The other thing is I think it's important to note that bullying has become a catch-all phrase. Not every student conflict is necessarily bullying. If you and I get into an argument and you're mad at me because I said I don't like how you play softball, that's not necessarily bullying. That's just a discussion and it's not going the way you want it to go. So I think it's important that we're also teaching students to understand the difference between bullying, harassment, and discrimination, when that happens, and then how to go about getting the help. In health classes, the counselors and the school psychologists have been going in and working with Mrs. Satanic to present units on bullying and harassment. That's been going on for a while. But we have a lot of resources, and it just takes a minute to reach out to someone to get the help you need.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's all we have for today. If you have anything that you'd like to know more about, you can email me at nmeza@oswego.org, and Dr. Sweeney and I will discuss it on next month's show. Thank you for joining us today, Dr. Sweeney.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, anytime. Good luck on your exams, and we'll see you in February for the next episode of What's Up, Doc?
The OHS Highly Effective Habit of the Month for January is Think Win-Win. In simpler terms, this means that you should be unselfish and have anyone participating in an activity benefit. Thinking win-win means that you want everyone to succeed, not just yourself. The student who exemplified December's habit of put first things first the best was Willow Sunap. In February, we'll announce a new habit for that month, as well as the students who exemplified January's habit the best. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Tanner Wegzyn.